Hello and welcome to the post-week 6, post-week 5,
No,
post-week
6.
5.
Yeah.
We're headed into week 6
Yes, sir.
because it's the first week of bye weeks. So the post-week 5 episode of the Gem City Gridiron Roundup podcast, zero preparation. We pushed this back to Thursday. I ended up being more busy the rest of the week than I was during the weekend. So,
and there was no way we were going to do this on very little
Monday.
sleep heading back from Dallas. There was no way possible. I fell asleep at 7:30 Monday night. Dalton didn't get back till past 8 o'clock. We'll get to that in a few.
Seahawks, Rams. Let's just dive right into it. Rams take care of business against the Seahawks. Russell Wilson gets hurt. Seahawks are irrelevant going the rest of the way.
I think you can still play a few guys.
Right. The team as a whole, though, is irrelevant.
Yeah. Surprisingly,
it'll be interesting to see what they do the first week with the new quarterback, though.
Yeah, Geno looked actually pretty good. Granted, short week. No one prepares for Geno Smith on a short week. They don't look terrible. March down the field. And actually, they should be okay. Surprisingly, Russ Wilson was a limited participant today in practice.
What?
Yeah, so not totally sure. If we do sidebar, the Bucks and Eagles game is going on right now. Richard Sherman Richard Sherman did limp off. Looks like a hamstring injury. But yeah, I think I think the only guy you can truly play is DK Metcalf.
Oh, Metcalf, yeah.
Metcalf. Lockett will have to wait.
Carson been bad?
Carson, he's battling a neck injury. He didn't play. He didn't play last week. It was the Alex Collins show. He did all right.
15 for 47, 2 catches for 25.
Yeah, and so he still had about 9 or 10 points. So you might be able to roll him out there as a low end RB2, trying to strike gold in those matchups. This week is a little tougher against Pittsburgh. It is a Sunday night game. You're not going to totally sure what's going to happen there, but I think the only guy you can really play is DK, and you might be able to throw out Lockett still. You still got to throw him out there. But
at least
temper expectations. Yeah, temper expectations until you see it another week. DK did catch a touchdown with Geno Smith, so that's what they got going right now.
Moving on, Falcons Jets. We actually did get to watch most of this game, at least for the first half. Cordero Patterson is scary. I hate that dude.
Put Kyle Pitts in the Hall of Fame. No, Kyle Pitts, and we also got to see the Kyle Pitts breakout game.
We finally got to see it.
Love it. He was torching. Granted, with no Calvin Ridley, personal issues did not make the trip to London. So Kyle Pitts had to shine. If he did not shine there, it would have been a mutiny for all the Kyle Pitts owners across fantasy land. But Falcons take care of business against the Jets. Jets do make it a game in the second half, but you're just kind of tempering expectations for a few of those players. The only Jets player you can probably play is Corey Davis. And that's still even on the fence and the flex. You might be able to start playing Michael Carter.
Right. If he didn't have a bye week this week, I'd be playing in this.
Definitely. Exactly. Otherwise the Falcons took care of business. Just kind of let their foot off the gas. Wasn't that fun of a game except for watching Kyle Pitts and Cordero Patterson.
Philly beats the Panthers. What are the Panthers as an NFL team? The question still stands. I had them in one of my parlays, and Sam Darnold decided to throw 3 interceptions. Chuba Hubbard is a decent fill-in.
Mm-hmm. DJ Moore's a stud, but he didn't have a great game.
He is.
Still a stud.
Did not have a great game, but no one did. Sam Darnold only threw for 177 yards.
That's 3 straight completions to Leonard Fournette.
Weird.
Check down Tommy. What about that game?
Devontae Smith. Yeah. He's good.
Oh, he's good. Jalen Hurts, solid fantasy player. He had like 1 point at halftime, and then he ended up with like 23. that ground game makes a huge difference. They're always going to be throwing the ball like they are tonight. I think you can trust a few players, obviously. The Eagles, Hurts, I guess Hurts and Smith, that's about it. Miles Sanders, it's real dicey. Kenneth Gainwell, you could throw out there as, what the heck flex. But not much else. Panthers, obviously McCaffrey might play this week. Everyone's hoping that McCaffrey's back this week. DJ Moore's good. Robbie Anderson's bad again until he's not bad again. We'll have to wait and see about that. Sam Darnold, it's a bad game. We'll see what happens this next week. See if he can get back on the right track.
The running backs are kind of churning up the Eagles defense right now.
I know it sucks
for the Bucs.
I need the Eagles on offense.
Packers beat the Bengals in overtime. We did see most of this game from the Miller Lite House at AT&T Stadium,
otherwise known as Jerry.
The Bengals, all they do is cover. That's all they do.
There's a lot of missed field goals in this game. Sorry for Crosby / McPherson managers. A lot of missed kicks. Great game though. Devontae Adams is the best wide receiver in the NFL.
First down, Rojo.
Yeah, hands of stone. Rojo caught a ball. And he's just good. There's no question about it. He's the best receiver in the game. 40% target share. It's the Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams show, and that's it. You can't play anybody else.
I think we're kind of shocked to see that Joe Mixon was not a decoy.
Yeah.
He actually did get in the game.
He did. Samaje Perine did have the bulk of the work. He did end up with about 18 and a half fantasy points. Mixon still ended up getting, 10 and a half, 11. But
touchdown.
No.
He got the touchdown. And also there was a touchdown just scored by Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Not sure who scored the first Bucs touchdown. Do you know?
O.J. Howard.
Wow. That helps.
No.
Nobody.
What? Antonio Brown, I'm going against him this week with Heath, so that's not fun right off the bat.
That is 10-point play right there.
That sucks. Sat right in the middle of the zone. Nothing.
Yep. That's what AB does.
Good job, Eagles. Way to not play defense.
Cardinals, 49ers. Cardinals do not put up as many points as everyone thought. I lose my bets. Trey Lance does okay. For a rookie quarterback, he did not do bad.
No. Ran the ball a lot, which is what we expected of him. Threw the ball not accurately, which we also expect from him. He'll get better, but he also is battling a knee sprain apparently, and it might be back to the Jimmy G show come week 7.
Probably.
Yeah. He wasn't ready. Lance wasn't quite ready.
James Conner ended up with the bulk of the carries on the Cardinals side. This must have been a defensive effort with how low the score was.
Yeah, I didn't see a whole lot. I think a lot of people were banged up. Chase Edmonds was banged up a little bit. Hopkins was also banged up a little bit. But Rondale Moore had a good showing from the box score and seeing some highlights. He's going to be a force for a little bit. Max Williams did tear his ACL, I believe, the tight end. That's going to give Rondale Moore probably some more touches. They might go more into 10 personnel. They do run 4 wide the most out of everybody in the league, so they might run a little bit more. But Rondale Moore looks good.
New England squeaks one out against the Texans in the game of who cares. Mac Jones still looks like the best rookie quarterback. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, he does.
Hunter Henry with the big game. He'll have those every now and again.
Yeah, Davis Mills, probably the best rookie quarterback appearance against Bill Belichick. He lit it up.
21 for 29, 312, and 3 touchdowns. 141.7 quarterback rating. No one saw that coming.
And they still lost the game.
Yep, but they covered.
Yes, sir, they did.
I believe they were a 10.5-point dog.
Yeah, that was pretty high for two rookie quarterbacks going against each other.
Yep. Mark Ingram ends up with the most attempts. No one cares about that backfield because only David Johnson catches passes. So I guess everyone cares about David Johnson.
Yeah, and he's a free
If you
agent
need a
in most
James
leagues.
White.
And he's a free
If you
agent
need-
in most leagues.
If you need a James White, it's David Johnson. Weirdly enough, I'm guessing Bill took away Brandon Cooks on purpose. Chris Moore with the big game, formerly of the Ravens, I believe.
Yes. And
5 targets, 5 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown.
yes, he was promoted from the practice squad, I believe, that day. And they did sign him after the fact. So not much to see there, though.
Jacksonville does not cover. Tennessee gets off the snide. That was the title of last week's episode. Tennessee did what Tennessee supposed to do.
Derrick Henry, big dog.
Another 25 plus rushing effort. Ryan Tannehill sprinkled the ball all over the place. However, he did target AJ Brown the most. We'll see how that works out for them next week at Buffalo, with Julio coming back as well.
Yeah, Julio was full practice today. So they're back in business. Full practice, Julio and AJ Brown should be back in the saddle.
James Robinson's good. He had that one ginormous run, which we did see while we were at the Miller Lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
After LaVisca's ginormous day last week, he really just didn't do anything this week.
He caught one ball, and it was amazing. They should get him the ball more. He's so
3
explosive.
Targets, 1 catch for 58 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he caught it, and it was probably like 30 yards after the catch. Just get him the ball in space and let him do some work.
Minnesota beats Detroit 19-17 in the who cares game of the weekend. Alexander Madison with 25 carries, 7 catches, 40 yards receiving, 1 touchdown receiving, and 113 rushing yards. He did everything you hope Alexander Madison would do after the very disappointing fill-in games last year.
Yeah, the 2 fill-in games he's had this year, 25 fantasy points in both games. Exactly what you want from a player of that caliber, of that handcuff variety of player. Great when you have that option. And then the Lions should have won this one again. Like, if you didn't see the post-game press conference,
they missed
Dan
on
Campbell,
another field goal, didn't they?
No. So what happened was the Lions are down. They end up scoring the touchdown. They're down 1. They go for 2 on the road and score and get the 2-point conversion to go up. And then the Vikings kind of chip down a little bit. There's only like 50 seconds left. Kirk Cousins gets them in deep field goal range. I think it was like 58-yard field goal, and the Vikings kicker barely makes it. And Dan Campbell was like pretty emotional after the game. He was like almost crying in the post game. And like the Lions, they've done as well as they could. They've covered a bunch of games. They've been in a bunch of games. They just can't get over the hump. And like everyone, like some of the rookie head coaches have done pretty well. Like as even though the Lions are 0-5,
they've played really well in every game.
They have played really well, and everyone was making fun of Dan Campbell in the offseason with his opening press conference and biting off kneecaps and all that sort of stuff. And everyone loves this guy. Like everyone loves this guy.
I drink 2 venti Starbucks triple shot. It's like rocket fuel. I drink 2 of them.
But he's like, everybody loves the guy now. And going into another coach everyone loves is Brandon Staley. Everyone loves that guy for the Chargers, and we'll get to that game. But everyone is a huge man crush on Brandon Staley right now in the fantasy world. It's the way he carries himself. He tells it how it is, and just like well spoken. But if you haven't watched any of his interviews, go check them out.
I saw there was an interview of his on my Instagram, but I did not actually watch it. It looks like he has perfect response. Oh, here it is, the post right here. Perfect response for you want to give me share powers real quick? Or I guess I'll just message you this link and you can show this on the podcast when you get a minute.
In the chat.
Yep. If I can figure out how to paste on Apple. There we go. So whenever you get a chance, you can pull that up. And that is a article from SB Nation where the man crush that he is speaking of talks about the Gruden emails.
Yeah, I did see this.
While Zach gets that pulled up, I will move on to the Steelers-Broncos game. The Steelers win this one. I'm honestly shocked with the way the Steelers were headed. I felt like the Broncos should have won this game. But once again, it comes down to we really don't know anything 3 weeks into the season when the Broncos were 3-0. I will continue with my analysis. Najee Harris is good. Chase Claypool goes off. Deontay Johnson has a ginormous play, and so did Chase Claypool. I believe both those ended in touchdowns. Deontay Johnson's, I believe, was the very first touchdown of that game. Cortland Sutton goes off again, and Tim Patrick has a nice game. Both of those guys are startable every week as long as Jerry Jeudy is not in the picture. And I guess you can start a running back of the Broncos just in your flex. You're muted, buddy.
Sorry about that. I was just making sure the video didn't play. I don't know if I'll be able to play it because it's not directly tapped into the microphone. So if anybody wants to go check it out, just go check out the Brandon Staley press conference about the John Gruden emails and just anything. He's got a few press conferences out. But yeah, go check him out.
I'm pretty sure this is a thing. Like, I'm pretty sure you can share the screen. And remember, we've done it.
Yeah, but the sound is not through my microphone, though.
It doesn't have to be through your microphone. Give me those powers. I'm going to see if I can pull it up really quick.
I already gave you powers.
All right.
I already gave you powers.
More share screen. Host disabled participant screen sharing.
I don't know where that is. I think you have to be the host.
Oh yes,
I can. Let me try it. I have it pulled up.
Let's just do this through the break, unless you already just did it.
No, I do have it pulled up. Let me share my screen and let's see here. Here we go. All right, let's see if we can get this sound going.
Yeah, I think this is what I think about it. I think that respect and trust in this world are really, really difficult to achieve. And I think about all the people that were affected by those emails, whether you're a person of color, whether you're a person, gender, your sexual orientation, the people that were affected by those emails, that's who I'm thinking about. Because it's a sacred mantle for someone to call you coach or someone to call you a leader. And trust is really, really hard to achieve in this world. It's really, really challenging to achieve. And especially with people, with those groups that I just mentioned. All right. And people are really guarded. All right. And they're skeptical of people because of emails like that. And I just think that, kindness and lifting people up and respecting people you don't know. I just think that, that's such a big part of our thing here is listening to people and learning about people, because I think what you'll discover is that we have so much more in common than not. And I think that, for someone like me, it's just incumbent upon you to set the example every single day so that people that were, talked about in those emails, that they don't need to feel that way. They shouldn't feel that way. And it's, hopefully, all of us can learn from this, that it's about bringing people together for me, so that people can become, the people that they dream about. And I think that, for me, leading this football team and being someone, hopefully we can, be a light for those people in those emails, that not everybody's like that, that there's far more people that will love you than the opposite. And hopefully this will be a chance for everybody to come together instead of go apart.
Nice message there about equality and loving thy neighbor. Don't mind that at all.
Yeah, super well spoken. Hopefully we don't get copyright infringement on that on
I think we'll be all right.
YouTube. But speaking of which, sidebar, Tom Brady 11 of 12, make that 12 of 13 for 120 yards, 2 touchdowns for Brady already through pretty much just the first quarter.
And the Dodgers Giants game is just getting underway. We have not had first pitch yet. They are doing the pregame. Game 5, baby. That is what I'll be doing tonight after we finish this podcast. Do you have any thoughts on your Pittsburgh Steelers?
They're still bad. It was nice that they got the win against the Broncos. It's always nice to beat the Broncos. But Juju did tear his shoulder. He is out for the entire year. And
thank God you pay attention. I did not know that.
Yeah. Torn shoulder, left shoulder. No, it was his right shoulder. He's out for the year. There was a press conference that he had at one of his fundraisers, and he was super emotional about it. But he's done for the year. It sucks for a player that, did come back on a 1-year deal to try to, prove it, but didn't quite work out. So kind of elevate that play of Claypool and Deontay now. Definitely, I think you can fire those guys up in fantasy every week. Obviously, you're firing off Deontay anyway, but Claypool, definitely plug and play wide receiver 2, low end wide receiver 2, high end 3. Najee, you're playing every week. Can't play Ben, but I still think they're probably going to be right around that 500 record. I don't think they're going to be. I mean, they're bad like overall, but they're going to win games. That's just the way they do it. So until I see something change, it's still the same. I mean, the last game was the best game they've played. They actually ran the ball and stuck to it and didn't throw it a bunch. So that's what they got to do, which is why Deontay only caught 2 balls, but he did catch 2 big passes. Way more efficient. AB caught another pass. Damn it.
4th and 1 for the Buccaneers. Looks like they're punting. First, I thought they were going for it. Moving on, the Bears win against the Raiders in a game where we talked about where we don't know who's good and who is not, because the Raiders had started 3-0, and I was drinking the Kool-Aid. And then the last hurrah of John Gruden of his 10-year contract, which I'm sure he's still going to get paid a lot of. They just shit the bed.
He will not get paid for that.
Really? Because he resigned?
He resigned. He was not fired.
Wow.
That's at least what I understand. Usually if you get fired, you get paid out, but he was forced to resign.
I'm sure he has plenty of money anyway.
Oh yeah. But 3-0 teams that started the year, both have now lost 2 in a row. That would be the Denver Broncos. That would be the Las Vegas Raiders, and would be the Carolina Panthers. So definitely some fake 3-0 teams out there. Fraudulent.
Both of these offenses looked absolutely awful, except for Damian Williams, who just got put on the COVID list today.
Correct. He did.
So who knows if he's playing or not. And if he's not, then Khalil Herbert, who you just so happened to pick up on Sunday before the game started while we were hungover. Good for you, because you can start him.
Yep, he is in my starting lineup. I need him.
I will trade you Devontae Booker.
Sure.
No, I don't know. Neither one's great. So
I need him this week. Deebo Samuel bye week. Trying to plug and play. COVID list for him. He did test positive, so he will be out this week.
Oh, he tested positive. Okay. Yeah, he's done.
So he's out this week for sure. Bad game.
Is it going to be Justin Fields or Andy Dalton this week?
It'll be Justin Fields.
Really? Oh, yeah, they announced him as the official starter, but Dalton did get in for one pass apparently.
Yeah, I think. Fields is also battling a knee sprain, but I think it's just a hyperextension. Should be good to go.
Okay.
Tampa
Bay. Go ahead.
Sorry. I think this is true. I did hear on a podcast. Ever since Justin Fields took over the starting job, Tom Brady has more rushing yards than Justin Fields. And we'll end it there. We'll move on.
Oh, sorry. So Tom Brady has more rushing yards than Justin Fields
since Justin Fields took over. Yes.
That's ridiculous.
End conversation. Let's move on.
The Dodgers have started with the offense. It is a 3-1 count from Logan Webb, and Mookie Betts hits a single. All right. Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Dolphins 45-17. Nice. Every bettor in America needed this to happen. Looks like there was some garbage time Blaine Gabbert at the end of everything.
Yeah.
Fournette.
Good.
Fournette played pretty well. He put up some good points. Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin all had decent days, all above 14 points, I believe.
Yep. They all crushed. All did great.
And Jacoby Brissett is just a stopgap. The Miami Dolphins fans will be very excited when Tua gets back.
Yeah, Tua should be back this week. He is practicing, so we'll see how that works out.
A week after all the Myles Gaskins news breaks came out, drop him. You don't want him. He had 10 catches for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Correct.
And I think Jalen Waddle apparently couldn't catch anything because he had 6 targets and Mike Gesicki had 7 targets. I'm guessing it just was a horribly ineffective, non-accurate day for Brissett.
Yeah, that defense is just ridiculous. That Tampa Bay defense swarms and is just super good. Can't beat that.
To be honest, no one thought the Dolphins would put up a fight in this game anyway with their backup quarterback. Moving on. Saints handle business against the Washington football team. I actually didn't even know what the score of this game was until just now. Antonio Gibson has a nice day.
Mm-hmm.
And Jameis just every other week. Every other week. Yep. So this week they've actually got a pretty decent matchup, but I don't expect him to do anything because
they're on a bye
every other week plan. Exactly. Every other week.
Yeah.
So next week, Jameis will be just fine. I mean, I wish someone smarter than us could tell us what the fuck is going on with. Oh, sorry.
Solid.
What the fuck is going on with Jameis and why he's only good every other week? But
come on, Hurts, get it done.
Alvin Kamara with the monster game. Marquez Callaway with the monster game. That's it.
Yeah. Not a whole lot.
Nope. The Saints, I'm guessing, looked really efficient based on how much they scored in each quarter.
Oh yeah.
We will go to the Monday night game next. Then we will circle back to the Sunday night game. Then we will go to the game we went to.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do it.
All right. Baltimore Ravens beat the Colts in overtime. My man. Marquise Brown, 5-yard touchdown pass from Lamar Jackson. I actually didn't end up watching this game because, like Zach said, I didn't get back until very late.
And I watched 0 snaps of this game. I fell asleep at 7:30 on Monday night. And I wish I could have watched a little bit of it. I got a bunch of notifications that this game was great, but I just caught the highlights the next morning. And man, it was a great game. Definitely comeback city.
Oh, that's right. I did watch the highlights.
Yeah. I feel bad for you, Dalton. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. This was a monster offensive showing from both teams.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson ended up throwing for 400 yards. I don't even know how many times he's ever done that before. I actually can find that out for us, but I doubt it's very many times.
I doubt it either. And it was a high completion percentage too. It was like 37 of 42 or something. Like he lit him up. That
was the first 400-yard passing game from Lamar Jackson in his career.
And he only ran for 60 more.
He only has 2 other 300-yard passing games in his career.
Might have turned a corner.
Maybe his last one was last week. He had 316 yards, and then his other one was 2019, which I didn't even realize he played in 2019. He had 324 yards passing and 5 touchdowns with a perfect quarterback rating.
Is that against the Dolphins?
It was 59-10, 17 of 20, 85 completion percentage, 324, 5 touchdowns, 158.3% completion percentage, 3 rushes for 6 yards.
That was a wild. Yeah, I that's weird. I remember that game. But yeah, he now
in 3 seasons has 3 5-touchdown passing games.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah, that game was a lot of fantasy guys went off. All the guys that were supposed to go off did go off. Lamar Jackson went off. Different game. That's this week. Lamar Jackson went off. Hollywood Brown went off. Mark Andrews went off. Michael Pittman Jr. went off. And Jonathan Taylor went off. Like everybody.
And all of those guys were playing against me this week.
Yeah, that sucks. We were talking about it. We're like, oh man, you're like 75 points. You should be pretty good to go.
I think I was up 62 and they scored
94 or something.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown is getting his ankle worked on. It looked like a little massage.
It's the Leonard Fournette game so far.
It is a Leonard Fournette game. Sunday night, Bills, Chiefs.
This one was in a weather delay while we were going through a tornado. And I had some acid reflex issues. I think I saw like 5 minutes of this game total, just because we were at a bar in Dallas called Texas Live, and we were watching it for a little while, and then it went into a weather delay.
Yeah, we watched the first half off and on while we ate.
Right, and the Bills looked extremely dominant.
Yeah, definitely. Nice
Chiefs
catch.
defense is thank you. The Chiefs defense is really bad.
Very bad. Super bad. And Stephon Diggs didn't go off in this game, but the Bills are good. No doubt about it. You can play. I mean, I guess you can only really play Allen, Diggs. I guess you can play Zach Moss.
I guess you could play Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox. Revolution. I think he's like tight end 3. Tight end 3 or 4 for the year. Just straight killing it, man. And yeah.
I don't think he's
Tom Brady picked off. Tom Brady picked off.
Is that Epps? Marcus Epps, Pride of Wyoming?
Might be.
I believe it is.
Yes, it is.
I don't know if that's an interception.
I hope it is.
I don't know if that's an interception.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
But that's Marcus Epps, Pride of University of Wyoming.
The ball touches the ground.
I believe he has 2 interceptions now. Yep.
That's a catch.
Well, I don't know. We're going to break, so who knows?
But either way, Chiefs got a little banged up. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is on IR. Next man up is Darrell Williams.
I picked him up in one of my leagues. Dropped Trey Sermon.
Good. Tyreek Hill came out of the game a little banged up. So did Travis Kelce, but they're going to be just fine. Mecole Hardman had a nice showing, but it is going to be the Darrell Williams show for here on out for at least 3 to 4 weeks, while Edwards-Helaire looks like a sprained MCL, and see how that progresses there. I mean, you're basically plugging him into where CEH was. He's going to be playable at this point. I feel bad for Blaster. He gets to play him only because he has to, because he has Saquon Barkley and David Montgomery. Sorry, buddy. No. Sorry, buddy.
He's had the worst luck of injuries this year.
Yep. And he was up big on Monday night also, and then he had Hollywood Brown go off against him. So we do have 2 0-5 teams in the league. And they match up this week. Little forecast.
Ooh. We'll get into that later.
Yeah. And now let's talk about Dallas. Deep dive into the Dallas Giants game.
We roll into Dallas. Zach is about 3 hours after the first group of us arrive in Dallas. We go get some brunch. We're talking brisket. We're talking old fashions. We're talking sending pics to Zach while he's hungry on his flights. Then Zach shows up. We go to Dealey Plaza. We find out where JFK got assassinated.
First, we played darts and drank a lot of whiskey before we left to go to Dealey Plaza.
I actually don't know where we ended up placing those 2 bottles of whiskey. I'm guessing in the liquor cabinet of the Airbnb. But
no idea. We drank a lot of it, though.
Yeah, we drank a ton of it. And whoever gets the Airbnb after us, you're welcome. Yes. 2 bottles of Texas whiskey hanging out in there for you. All right. So then we leave Dealey Plaza. We go to this really fancy steakhouse, which actually had some reasonably priced food as long as you weren't ordering steak.
A lot more.
The Uber was $100. Yeah, the Uber was $129 to go from downtown Dallas back to Fort Worth, which is where we were staying. Or no, we were in Arlington. We were right next to downtown Arlington. Yeah. We definitely old personed it that night. When we got back, we played poker for probably 2 hours plus.
And drank a lot more.
And then we got an Uber to Texas Live that night, which turns out it was closed and booked by all of Southwest.
Yep.
The air company, while they're not doing flights because their pilots are sick. Yeah, exactly. Then we went to a Mexican restaurant
where we proceeded to eat way too much food and
all weekend
and margaritas. It was crazy. And we walked back. We're glad we walked back because we at least were able to like let the food settle instead of sitting. It's
not a vacation with us if we're not eating and drinking way too much. So let's be honest.
Correct.
So then we came back, woke up in the morning, watched the London game, most of it anyway, drank some coffee, went straight to this place called the Biscuit Bar, which was fucking delicious. It was the best food we had in the entire trip, in my opinion.
Definitely. Chicken and not a waffle, man.
Oh,
so
man.
Good.
That's like a must for a football game in Dallas on Sunday.
Yeah, if you ever go there, chicken and not a waffle at the Biscuit Bar.
Chicken and not a waffle at the Biscuit Bar and get some tots just because. I thought it was going to be too much food, so I didn't order the tots, but Zach and I basically split them.
Yeah. They're still reviewing this play. I think it's a catch. If they're taking it this long, it's going to be a catch.
Then we walked to the stadium. This Miller Lighthouse place was just opening, which is like a come hang out. It's like the tailgate for the people who walked to the stadium, which was us. They had the Cowboys dance team perform. They had a Hispanic artist by the name of Frankie J perform, which none of us had ever heard of before except for Cody. In other words, known as two-time, as other words known as Crypto Man. Two-time. Okay. And then we gazed in the beauty, which is the vast valley of Jerry World AT&T Stadium.
It is humongous.
It is otherworldly.
We walked in and we were like, what in the hell is this? This is ridiculous.
To be fair, the entire trip, everywhere we went, everywhere we walked, it was like the North Star. As long as you could see the stadium, you knew you were somewhere near where we needed to be.
Oh, that's bullshit. They reversed it.
Poor Marcus Epps.
Bunch of bullshit. Oh, well.
Yep. I kept calling it the North Star. I bet you we walked over 10 miles.
We were pretty close to where we were staying, though. It felt like 10 miles the last night.
Right. We watched the game. We will now get into the game. We sit down after grabbing some more beers, finding our place after walking halfway around the entire stadium. We sit down in a nice section, great seats. I really nailed it. I got to pat myself on the back there. I really nailed the seats.
You did. Good spot.
We then watched the first quarter, which was basically uneventful, capped by a Greg Zuerlein 31-yard field goal. Both offenses were really trying to feel each other out. First matchup between the Cowboys and Giants for the season. And then the scoring started. CD Lamb busts some coverage. Safety took a terrible angle. And Dak just lofted it over for a big-time CD Lamb 49-yard touchdown. And then the Giants marched right back down the field, but stalled, kicked a 51-yarder within a minute of the CD Lamb touchdown, which I believe was a product of a turnover. Am I remembering this correctly?
I'm not totally sure.
Looks like both teams had 2 turnovers.
I believe it was the Dak fumble. I can't remember.
I can look at the play-by-play.
It's fine, but we then obviously early the Giants got hampered with injuries. Saquon Barkley rolls an ankle, pretty nasty.
Daniel Jones gets hurt eventually.
Daniel Jones concussion.
And then it was just no holds barred the rest of the game. It was just a Dallas Cowboys onslaught from there.
And the Kadarius Toney show.
Yeah, the Kadarius Toney show until he decided to try to punch somebody who was wearing a helmet, which is the stupidest move in football.
Yeah.
This was a great game for a Dallas fan. And it turned out that that's the one we ended up going to because the vibes were amazing and the crowd was amazing. And they got the dub and they covered.
And then after, obviously, we talked about going to Texas Live, going to barbecue place. As we were walking back, there was a tornado warning. A quarter of the way. Damn, he just got picked off. There was, we got about a quarter mile into our walk, and the heavens opened up, and a torrential downpour. We were soaked in the first 2 or 3 minutes.
It was a monsoon.
We were walking into the wind, completely drenched. Dalton and I are running, trying to look at the GPS, running through ankle/shin deep water. We lose Sackett and Lean. They detour at
our phones are getting water damage.
Our Lean and we lose Lean and Sackett to a nearby Walmart where they dry off in the towel section and leave and take an Uber. And we get back and we proceed to just throw everything in the dryer, and we are completely soaked head to toe. Wet shoes the next day. Obviously, everyone had wet shoes trying to fly back.
I threw mine in the dryer.
Again, the next morning.
They were in the dryer from the get-go.
Well, but they weren't dry in the morning, were they?
Yeah, they're fine.
Mine weren't.
I have the cloth Adidas ones.
Oh, okay.
So
whatever. It was
nice.
still late. And then Dalton has a panic episode of acid reflux as the dryer goes off and is choking on his own vomit, essentially. And we run into the room. Sackett pinches off his shit as fast as possible because he had no idea what was going on. And I run into the room.
There were some rough shits this weekend because of the amount of food we were eating and the density of the foods we were eating.
And I turn on the light in the room and I turn it on. Dalton is like crab walking down this incline off the top bunk of this bunk bed, butt ass naked, like hucking in air because he can't breathe, and runs to the bathroom again naked. Lean is literally under him, basically on the bottom bunk, and sees his hairy ass just in his face, basically, and then kneels over and just tries to get something out. And then
of
about
my
20,
mouth
and
because
about
I was
25,
choking on acid, but nothing came out.
And about 20 minutes later, Dalton is back in the room sleeping. And
I wasn't sleeping. It took me another 3.5 hours to fall asleep because I could not get my stomach to stop.
It was ridiculous.
Coming up with more acid.
Definitely one of the funniest. I got about one of the funniest nights, but I definitely got about 2.5 hours of sleep that night. It was not pretty.
Yes.
I probably got about 5 to 6 hours of sleep that entire weekend.
At least you didn't have to drive back after you got back.
That is very true.
You were already in Sheridan, so that's a nice luxury.
That was. I paid for that up front. AB's back in the game. God,
He
Freaking
is. He had a
Derek.
jet sweep just now. I believe. No, it was bubble. I think it was a bubble. Well, should we just hammer in straight into these matchups that mattered after those beautiful stories from Dallas, Texas?
Let's take a pause. I need a refill.
All right. We are going to pause right now. And we're back. Gem City Gridiron Roundup podcast. Last note about the Dallas trip. It was a reminder that I have gorged myself for far too long in the last 3 or so months, and I'm officially on a diet, so we do not have these acid reflux issues ever again in the near future. Yeah, back on the diet. So your boy will be back below 200 pounds in no time again.
There you go. Good for you. All right. Let's recap. Recap the week in the Gym City Gridiron. And
I lost a
last
heartbreaker.
Week. Yeah, last week
Last
of
week.
interconference play.
Yep. I lost a heartbreaker. I was trying to go undefeated. Heath took care of business against me. Really unfortunate. I thought 162 points was enough. He ends up scoring 203. Like we talked about, everybody and their mother went off. The chart
is ridiculous.
It's hilarious. It's he had a straight line from 4 p.m. all the way until
Monday night
10 on Monday night, and then it was just straight up. If this was a stock, he'd be a millionaire right now.
Man. Sackett ends up losing as well to Pat. I don't have the scores in front of me. I think it was like
175 to 105.
Yep. Pat takes care of business. He keeps getting that Cordero Patterson magic. Good week for him. 175 is a solid week. Sackett is battling quite a few injuries right now. We'll see how he can respond to that. Luke pulls out the dub in the Cursed Like a Sailor Bowl. Cole is battling some injuries as well. He lost.
A lot of people have really crucial injuries right now.
Yeah. Luke has a good week overall. I believe he scored in the 150s.
178.
178. Oh, yeah. He had, who did he have late? Josh Allen.
Josh Allen scored 36 and a half. Damian Williams scored 16 and a 0.4. Stephon Diggs, 8.9.
Yeah. And he takes care of business. Let's see. Drew got another dub, I believe.
Yes, he beat Stuart Brinkman.
Stuart's having a tough year.
I'm going to go. Yeah, he's not making the playoffs. I'll go on record. Sorry, Stu. I know you don't listen.
Drew does.
Good for you, Drew. Dawson Knox, the Zach Moss experiment. Zeke
continues.
Has a ginormous game. Tony Pollard had a ginormous game. The entire Cowboys offense is out of control. So good thing he stacked a couple of those boys up.
Yeah. Doing great. Good for him.
He starts Kadarius Toney.
Love it.
For 29.6 points.
I started Kadarius Toney in one of my other leagues. And people were giving me so much flack. I literally dropped Brandon Ayuk for Kadarius Toney and played Kadarius Toney in a league that I had Calvin Ridley, who was out for personal issues. I play him. I get the dub. 5-0 in that league, baby. Love it. And then is there another one?
Heartbreaker. Another heartbreaker. Dark horse. Garrett Brinkman snipes Blaster, who thought he had his first win, thought he could hold on, and he just trickled his way into a loss. Looks like it was
Hollywood
Marquise Brown, 33.5. Looks like that was him and Derrick Henry are the only people that showed up for Dark Horse's team this week.
Which puts Blaster down to the bottom of the division and 0-5 in that division. And
that's a much worse division too. So I mean,
he's battled a lot of injuries. If you look at his teams, Saquon started slow. He lost David Montgomery. T. Higgins was out for a little bit. He's been battling some injuries, and it's a bummer. And
now he's got more to deal with.
And now to the Battle of Dallas, where Lean and I were duking it out in the big state of Texas.
These graphs make it look like Lean didn't even stand a chance. You almost doubled him up.
Oh yeah, Lean, I believe it was like 196 to 105.
Oh my God, Lamar Jackson.
That is, if you go in the Hall of Records, that is the biggest point win of the season so far. I believe a 90-point win.
Touchdown, Leonard Fournette.
Good for Luke. Yeah, I basically doubled him up. Lean stood no chance. Dalvin Cook got ruled out while we were at the biscuit bar. I immediately just said, Dalvin Cook's inactive. I'm moving Alexander Madison to my starting lineup. He's like, oh, shit.
Were you guys talking about that in line while you were ordering my food?
Yeah. I put up a big game, puts me on the 2-week win streak. I am the highest scoring team in the league.
And yet you are 2-3. Yep.
Yes. So that is what it is. I'm very happy. At least I'm the highest scoring team. Means I have a good team. I have not panicked. I am sticking to my guns. And hopefully this next week will get me back to the 3-3 point and get us into interdivision, cross conference,
probably cross conference.
Cross conference play. But I believe the week of the matchup in the cross conference play, we have the 0-5 Blasters Bastards and the 0-5 Redskins for life. Let's
preview it.
One of those two will take the longest losing streak this season to 6 games. Yeah, let's look at it.
Looks like DK Metcalf, hopefully he plays for Blaster, and hopefully Joe Mixon plays for Lean. Otherwise, there's going to be some serious issues with the first week of bye weeks coming through.
Yeah. What are the early projections? Blaster?
Early projections actually has Lean 136 to 123.
Okay. Obviously, Lean's got his 2 running backs hoping to play. Dalvin Cook was full participant in practice today. That should benefit him. And Joe Mixon should play. Obviously, if he played last week, he should play this week. Yeah, Lean could get off the schneid, potentially.
Hopefully. Moving on.
And by the way, we will keep track of these cross-conference plays. We will update them every week on the podcast and see which conference is the most dominant.
That's right. Looks like we got you facing Heath, who currently has 16 points for Antonio Brown, and that is why you're sweating it really hard. You are currently projected to lose, although you are the highest scoring team in the league. It's not looking like it actually matters right now.
Projected to lose, that's why. Huh?
Yep.
Devontae Smith has a 0, doesn't he?
Nope. He has 1 point and some change.
Oh, woohoo. As we record this on Thursday night, we do have a matchup. Obviously, Antonio Brown versus Tamanta Smith. Obviously, it looks like Antonio Brown potentially could win that. Granted, we are almost at halftime. A lot of garbage time potentially coming. I just hope Devonta Smith can shake a few Buccaneers DBs, but I also hope that the Eagles line can block these guys.
2-minute drill for the Eagles right now.
Yeah, the Eagles O-line cannot block this defensive line. It's bad. Oh my God, that was so bad. Dude, 77, get out of the game. That was bad.
Currently
Shaq Bear was across the line already before the left tackle even moved.
Really?
Yeah.
I am currently projected to beat Patrick. He's got some rough business going on with Miles Sanders. Tom Brady, if this game script continues, will not really be putting up very many more points past what he has unless the Eagles defense just decides to stop playing. Jalen Hurts with a deep shot just now to I don't even know who that wide receiver is, number 14.
That would be Quez. No, that's not Quez.
No,
that's
it's
Kenneth
not Quez.
Gainwell.
Quez 16.
That's Kenneth Gainwell.
Gainwell wears 14.
Yeah, it's these numbers are ridiculous. God, freaking fourth down. God,
It's going to take us at least 2 years to figure out these numbers.
and then they'll switch again.
Yep. All right, moving on. We have Stewart Brinkman taking on Cole. Stewart is projected to win by 5 points right now, but neither team is projected to score over 130 points. It looks like every single player on Cole's team is questionable
Or hurt on the bench already.
or hurt on the bench already or on a bye.
Here comes the
looks
bye
like
weeks.
he just had to pick up Kirk Cousins if he didn't already have him. I believe he just picked him up.
He had Kirk Cousins. He picked up Njoku to fill in that tight end spot for
Kyle Pitts.
Who
just finally went off. So he'll be nice and rested to go off again, maybe.
Yes. Next matchup.
Zach Ertz already has 10 points.
Yeah, Luke was pretty pissed. He does not believe that is he playing Dark Horse?
Yes.
He believes Dark Horse did not put him in his lineup in time. He believes that he had him on his bench when the game started, and now all of a sudden he has him in the game. Luke, this is not a conspiracy theory. He obviously, if he's in his starting lineup, he put him in on time. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, he texted me right when Ertz scored the touchdown. Like, how the hell did he get him in this lineup? He was on his bench before I started. I'm like, I asked the same thing when Patrick played against me and he had Cordero Patterson on his bench 5 minutes before the game time. It happens. He made a choice.
Yep, it does.
So he played him. Get over it.
Your brother is still projected to kill Garrett Brinkman.
Yeah.
We'll see what actually happens, but
that would be Luke's 5th win in a row. Luke is on a 4-game win streak right now. He lost the first game against Sackett.
I see you, big girl.
Yeah. And the last matchup is Drew and
Cody.
Sackett is struggling with injuries. Look at his team. It is
Jalen Hurts, Chris Carson, who's questionable, Damian Harris, who's questionable. Chris Godwin has 9.3 so far tonight. TJ Hawkinson, who is questionable. Devontae Adams, Tyler Boyd, Rondale Moore, Justin Tucker, and Steelers defense. I'm sure Cody will find a trade at some point in the near future, as he is always attempting to wheel and deal.
He made the tough decision of dropping Kenny Golladay. And I don't blame him. Nobody wanted him. I'm sure. He's probably been sending trade offers out.
Nobody wanted him.
Nobody wanted him, and that's probably nobody wanted Kenny Golladay. And it's pretty sad when Kenny Golladay is a guy you have to drop, and it's a guy he traded for a couple weeks ago. So it's a bummer. He'll get back on the winning streak soon, I'm sure.
Brewstar Gratterall just threw a 101 mile per hour pitch.
This is a football podcast, Dalton, not baseball. Sorry.
Okay. It's Dodgers game 5 in the NLDS. Okay.
Sorry, bud. Okay. Tom Brady deep shot picked off.
Yep. This time for real.
Number 2. Oh, option. Man. Just get on the ground. Get on the freaking ground.
We've reached the end of the show in which we place bets.
Yes. We'll give a little recap.
Go ahead.
A little recap of last week. We did not get them.
That'll give me some time.
Yeah, they did not get on the podcast in time. I was a busy guy last week. For anyone that cares, I had a licensing test that I ended up passing. I did not make the bets in time because I was studying last minute. And Dalton and I made the bets while we were in Dallas. I did make 4 bets since I did not get them in on time. I did wash one of the bets because of injuries. We did that earlier in the year. A guy got hurt early in the first quarter. Not fair for an injury bet. That bet was a Cowboys bet while we were there. It was a more total touches bet, Zeke versus Barkley. I took Zeke. Dalton took Barkley. We did take that as a wash because Barkley did get
Barkley
hurt.
got hurt.
We did not.
Ginormous, huge
Yeah.
bruise on his ankle. One of the guys in the stands actually had a picture of it
Yeah.
somehow.
It was
They
on
showed us
Twitter.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, was it on Twitter?
Yeah, I did see it on Twitter. But we did wash that bet because of an injury. I did not touch Dalton about that, but I did wash the bet. We had a bet earlier this year that we washed because of injury. The other bets, however, we had a London game bet. It was a more total catches bet. It was a Corey Davis versus Kyle Pitts. They had the same amount of catches going into the game. I took Kyle Pitts. Dalton took Corey Davis. The rest is history. It was 9-4, Kyle Pitts. I mean, it wasn't not total. It wasn't fantasy points. It was just total catches. Then the next bet was more tackles for loss, Las Vegas Raiders or the Chicago Bears. Dalton took Las Vegas. I took the Bears. The Bears had 4 tackles for loss. The Raiders had 1.
You really caught me at
I did catch you at a good
wrong time.
Yeah. And then which team had more total yards? More total team yards. It was Tennessee or Jacksonville plus 35. So Tennessee minus 35. Dalton took Tennessee, 368 yards. Jacksonville, 454.
Oh my God.
Garbage time matters. So Zach pulls out a 3-0 week for a running total of 6-6 now. And
you needed it bad.
I needed it bad. Obviously, the season-long bets are still going. We're going to have to talk about some of these bets. There are some injuries that have been involved. We'll have to figure some of that stuff out. I think we should move the DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley bet to a points per game rest of season because Calvin Ridley did miss an additional game besides his bye week. And I would do the same thing with points per game for DJ Moore if he got hurt or missed a game. They both
the bet was set.
Yeah, but it's still an injury. Like it's still like he missed.
No, he was not injured.
Okay, fine. Are we gonna the Taysom Hill one? If he misses games, are we gonna?
What was that one?
It was over under rushing
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Because he got hurt, huh?
He got concussed. We'll touch base on those.
We'll talk about it as the year progresses.
We'll see how like even if they get close, like it just sucks. Like Calvin really literally missing a game for personal issues, and then he's on a bye week, so he literally has no points. But the other one's going to be interesting. The Dallas Cowboys third pass catcher versus the Jets number 1 wide receiver. That's going to come down.
It's going to be so close.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one to watch down the stretch.
Michael Gallup should be coming back here any minute now.
But he's not. He shouldn't catch up points. Like points per game, he could catch up, but not
points.
Not points.
You never know. He could just have random big games.
Yeah.
It is 0-0 in the top of the third currently. For those who care about Game 5 of the NLDS.
And the people that really care about the bets, it is tied 6-6.
Yes. That is a good place to start.
That was it was a big week for me. 3-0 for the week.
Yes, it was.
And I would have been 4-0. It would have been 4-0 if it wasn't for the injury.
Okay. I've got 3 bets. I'm cheating a little bit. I'm on DraftKings. This show is not sponsored by DraftKings, but I do have 2 bets from DraftKings, and I have 1 I made up. The first bet is the one I made up. And as I am the home team, you get to pick, or as I'm the away team, since I'm making the bets, you get to pick the first and the third.
Correct.
First.
This is your made up bet.
Okay. More fantasy points. Darrell Williams or Devontae Booker.
Are we going DK points or are we going our scoring points?
Our scoring.
Our scoring points. Let's see. The Chiefs have
standard PPR.
Yeah. So Chiefs have the Washington, and the Giants have the Rams. I will go Darrell Williams.
Well, I guess I got to go Devontae Booker, even though I don't feel good about it because the Rams game script is probably going to be terrible.
He can catch balls, though. He's a good pass catcher. So Darrell Williams v. Booker. Okay. They're probably projected pretty close. So
more receiving yards, Chase Claypool or DK Metcalf?
Wow, Chase Claypool, DK Metcalf.
Wow,
that's a good one. Are they projected for?
So the bet is Chase Claypool and DK Metcalf to combine for over 149.5 receiving yards.
That's your bet?
No. That's DraftKings.
Oh.
I will take. Let's see. The Steelers are playing the
Seattle.
Oh, they're playing each other. That's the reason why I picked it.
Yeah.
Give me Claypool. I don't feel good about it.
Okay, I'll take DK. I'll take that. Straight receiving yards, okay. Not points, it's just straight receiving yards.
The Browns have another really tough one this week after the Chargers game.
Browns, Arizona.
More combined passing touchdowns. Cardinals and Browns or Chargers and Ravens. They're playing each other, Chargers and Ravens.
More combined passing touchdowns?
More combined passing touchdowns.
Chargers, Ravens.
All right, give me Cardinals, Browns. Honestly, Cardinals, Browns is going to be like 3.
I'm just going off based on what I know from the game. So they're supposed to.
I'm just going based off of whatever you don't pick.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that's fine. I heard it's in Cleveland. Apparently, there's supposed to be rain and 20-mile-an-hour winds. See ya.
Oh, do we have what was the name of the Cleveland winds that were famous?
Poncho weather?
No. Remember the word?
Oh, it wasn't torrential. It was Oh, I do remember we were talking. Oh man, we'll have to get back on that.
Hold on, Cleveland.
Oh my gosh, it was. Oh my
weather word.
Oh man.
It was a really cool word. Really cool word. We talked about it a bunch.
Yeah, because it was like multiple games.
Yeah,
last year.
Oh man, what was it called? Cleveland weather, rain and snow word.
No idea. It's probably in the podcast way back when. We'll have to see when.
Grapple.
The grapple weather.
The grapple. I found it.
It could be a grapple weather game. If anybody
lake effect.
I don't know. I'm just pulling up. There's a website I have for weather for the NFL, as I have websites for everything.
You do. I'm on the crypto game now. So I got a different website. Dude, I pumped $2,000 in crypto in the last couple days.
Oh my gosh. On what? What'd you get in? Ethereum?
Well, I mean, I'm not, we're on the podcast. This is a public network. I'm not going to get into it on my personal finances, but when we turn this off, I will let you know.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, it looks like it is halftime. I believe it's 21-7 at halftime.
This would be a good a time as any to conclude the podcast. Do you have any other matters you'd like to discuss?
Go Devontae Smith.
We need some garbage time, Devontae Smith. I'm not going to lie to you.
Garbage time, man.
Are there any rivalry matchups this week? I think
there are not. There are not any rivalry matchups, I believe, this week. I will, like I said, I will come back with division standing cross-conference matchups next week, and we will see which team has the better conference at the end of the season. I might go back and look and see, looking at conference matchups across the league, across the last 6 years, and see which conferences were the best but also individualize that with those teams in each division.
Right.
So I might do that for next week's podcast and see who's been in the toughest conference over the last 6 years and who's been in the weakest conference, and see how that's affected standings and everything along those lines. So
Alrighty.
that will be mine, along with trying to get some bets in on time next week.
I don't think my bets were too bad on the fly.
No. And you even had a couple extra days this week.
I know, and I still failed.
That's all right. We will get back to it. Hopefully everyone has a great
DraftKings
week.
just announced a boost. I just got a notification.
Of course.
Bucks are up 21-7 at half, and Brady's already thrown 2 touchdowns. We're boosting him to throw another one in the third from 180 to 210.
Just in the
Plus
third
210 odds for him to throw another touchdown in the third quarter.
Yeah, I'd take it.
I know I would take that bet too. I'm going to sprinkle $5 on there for a
Bring a
effect.
5 for a little double up right there.
I will warn you guys, in-game parlays is literally like burning money.
Yeah, it's lighting cash on fire.
It is so scary. Let's see. Where is this boosted odds? They sent me the notification and then they didn't send me like, I don't even know, man. Maybe I'm not going to make that bet. Oh,
There
here
it
it
is.
is.
Throw $2,000.
Sprinkle
2,000.
Sprinkle,
Put the
sprinkle
big money on
$5.
it. Put the money on it.
Sprinkling $5. It's processing very slowly. There must be doing a lot of. There must be taking a lot of people's money right now.
Yeah.
Let's go, Tom. Let's go, Tom. Go, Tom.
Anybody but AB. AB, man. AB.
All right. With that, hopefully we do not manufacture some degenerates out of gambling whilst listening to this podcast. We'll catch you guys next week.